Hello friends, and welcome back to this week's Self-Love Masterclass, where we talk about all things self-love and spirituality. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Mullings-Lewis, and I am a self-love coach and a Reiki master. Today we're going to talk a little bit about forgiveness, and truth be told, I really feel like forgiveness is one of those deeply complex concepts, spiritual concepts. And it's not really something that can be discussed in a single video. Truly, it is something that I could probably do an entire seminar series or video series on. And if that is something you're interested in me doing, maybe you can leave me a little note in the comments and let me know, or send me an email to let me know as well. So essentially, the request came in from a viewer, and it was a woman who said that she was experiencing a breakdown in her relationship with one of her closest friends. Now, I'm not going to get into exactly what happened in that relationship. There was a breach of trust. And ultimately what happened in that relationship is her friend felt betrayed and abandoned, and is at a place where she's just really upset with her. And I think that all of us can sort of relate to having an experience like this, where maybe someone has done something to us that we feel is unforgivable, or even if we have the desire to forgive, we really don't even know where to begin or how to do that, because the gravity of what happened, the impact of the betrayal or the broken trust is just so big. This is something that I also help couples to work on. So sometimes I'm working with a client who, whose partner has been unfaithful or stepped out of the marriage, that sort of thing. And it's like, how do you get back to this place where obviously you cannot go backwards, but really it is, how do you move forwards? Where I'm going to create this video from is really from the place of the person who is seeking forgiveness, okay? In the next video, I'll probably do it from the person who wants to forgive or doesn't know how to forgive. But for now, like I say, this is the place that we're looking at. So let's say you're watching this video right now and you've done something that you want to be forgiven for. The first thing to understand is that forgiveness is not obligatory. So what does that mean? A lot of us think that if we're in a marriage with someone or their family, or we have a very close, intimate relationship with someone, that the rules of the game or the rules of the partnership is that you have to forgive, and you have to move on. But when we're looking at things from a human level, that's not how we are. That's not how human beings heal and move on. Forgiveness can only be done when certain other things are put in place. And in this video, we'll talk a little bit about what those other things are, what the requirements are for forgiveness in general for most people. One, as I said, forgiveness isn't obligatory. So if you are now looking at it from a place of, this person doesn't have to forgive me, I am actually making a request for forgiveness, you can see how the energy is very different. You're going to come from a more humble place, and you're going to come from a place of really being of service to what that other person needs. Not what you need, what that other person needs. Because ultimately, you asking to be forgiven means there is something that you are now taking responsibility for. And you're looking for a way to help that person to heal through you taking responsibility. Now, just a little note, something I want to add here is, just because you are the one being forgiven and taking responsibility does not mean that there is little or no responsibility on the other person's end. It simply means, though, that you are going to be responsible for your part, and you are going to be responsible for how you not doing your part has impacted the other person, the person that you are asking for forgiveness from. The other important thing for us to look at is, how often are you asking for forgiveness? So is this your first time doing something of this nature to the person that you are asking forgiveness of? If it is the first time, then there is likely going to be a little bit less work for you to do to rebuild and regain the trust of the other person. However, if you ask for forgiveness all the time, if whatever you have done is something that you do regularly, if this person has forgiven you in the past and you've just done it all over again, then there are going to be very different things for you to do in order to regain the trust and to rebuild or repair that relationship, if that other person is willing to go there with you. Now, in some cases, there are some people who feel so hurt by what you've done or what they think you've done that forgiveness is just off the table. And so that is an example of, the first point that I was making when I said forgiveness is not obligatory. In this case, the person is unwilling to forgive you. And so what you'll have to do is look at how you're going to get this sorted out for yourself, so you are no longer carrying around guilt or shame around how things ended or where you're at with that person. But let us say that you are in a place where the person is willing to forgive you. Then the most important part of this is finding out, what does that person need? What do they need in order to feel safe again in the relationship with you? What do they need in order to know that you fully understand what you did or what you didn't do? What do they need to really feel like you understand the impact? And what do they need in order to know that this, whatever it was, will not happen again? So you have to be really committed and really invested in listening to what that person needs and what you can offer them to give them what they need. And you have to be willing to do it. Are you willing to do that for them? Are you willing to participate in the rebuilding process? Are you willing to play the role that is being asked of you? And this is just the beginning parts of how to even start the process of being forgiven by another person. Like I said, there is so much more to this. And even like each of the little steps that I went through in this video, like there's so much more to each of those steps, but this is a great place to start. There's so much more I want to say. I keep noticing that I don't want to finish the video because I'm like, wait, one more thing. But I will do another video on forgiveness. Yeah, you definitely need to look at taking responsibility. And then there's also some work for you to do on figuring out what had you do, whatever it was you did, or whatever it was that you didn't do that you were supposed to do. That is another big part. And that is perhaps the underlying self-love issue. Because whenever we do something to someone that we know is a breach or treason in our relationship, it's not about the other person. It's about us. It's about what is going on in here. And that is something that we definitely need to look at. All right, my friends, so I hope you've really enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe if you haven't already done that. Also, don't forget to share it with your friends and your family and anyone that's really just committed to personal development and really growing spiritually and just being a conscious and evolved human being on the earth and the planet, and really being someone who makes a difference in the lives of other people. Share it with all of those people that are into this sort of thing in your life. And that's it. So I'm going to wrap. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Leave me some comments below. Let me know what you thought. And until we see each other next time, don't you forget that we are in this together. Mwah.